Every longing that stirs within you is not a random impulse. It is a sign, a whisper from the depths of your being that what you seek is already yours in the unseen. You could not even desire something if it did not already exist in the reality of imagination. The very presence of the desire is proof of its reality. It is the evidence of a seed already planted in consciousness. Do not think of your longing as a sign of lack. It is the evidence that the seed of fulfillment has already been sown within you. Just as you could not yearn for a melody you had never heard, you cannot desire something that is entirely foreign to your inner world. It is yours already, awaiting recognition. When you understand this, desire no longer feels like a distant hope. It becomes a certainty, a quiet knowing that you are simply moving toward the awareness of what already is. Think of a traveler walking toward a city they have been told exists. They walk with assurance, not because they see it yet, but because they trust the report of its existence. So it is with your desires. Your longing is the report. Your imagination is the evidence. And your assumption of the wish fulfilled is the journey to its visible expression. Nothing more is required than to believe the report your heart has given you. If you can accept this truth, you remove the burden of struggle from your path. You will no longer fight against the fear of not having, because you will know you already possess it in consciousness. The work is not to create from nothing, but to awaken to what is already present in the unseen. That awakening is the real transformation. When the mind grasps that creation is finished, it stops striving. It shifts into a quiet confidence, a stillness that knows the outcome is certain. This is not laziness, but the highest form of faith, for it refuses to entertain the idea of defeat. It rests in the accomplished fact. The moment you stop questioning whether your desire will come, you begin to live as though it has already arrived. This change of inner state is the key that unlocks the door to its visible manifestation. You cannot reach the outer result while doubting the inner reality. Belief and assumption must come first. Every desire is the voice of God within you, calling you to a higher expression of yourself. To reject it is to reject the expansion of your own being. To accept it is to agree with the truth that you were never meant to struggle for what is already yours in spirit. All that remains is for you to live in the knowing of its fulfillment. The world you experience is the outpicturing of your inner assumptions. Life does not give to you according to effort, but according to the state you occupy. You can labor without changing your state and still remain in the same condition. Yet a shift in state, without strain, can transform everything around you. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you set in motion the law of consciousness. This law works with exact precision, responding only to what you are inwardly convinced is true. No amount of outer activity can override a contrary inner assumption. The inner always governs the outer. If you desire abundance, but remain inwardly convinced of scarcity, no amount of toil will produce lasting wealth. If you long for love, but hold fast to the belief that you are unwanted, no outward pursuit will bring you the relationship you seek. The seed is within, and it must match the harvest. What you accept as true of yourself is what you inevitably express. This is why struggle is unnecessary. Struggle belongs to the one who tries to change the outer while leaving the inner untouched. Effort alone is like trying to change the reflection in a mirror without touching the object being reflected. It is the inner image that must be altered. The moment you shift inwardly, the outer begins to arrange itself in harmony with that shift. You may still act in the world, but your action flows naturally from your new state, without strain or resistance. This is effortless alignment, not effortful pursuit. It is the difference between forcing and allowing. To live by this law is to live in freedom. You no longer fear that your desire may escape you. You know that once the state is accepted, the result must come. This knowing dissolves the need to chase. Outer struggle fades when you realize that the cause of all change lies in consciousness. Your focus moves from what you see to what you accept as true within yourself. And in that acceptance, the strain of trying gives way to the ease of being. This is the rest promised to all who believe. Once you understand the law, you stop asking, "How will this happen?" The how belongs to the unseen, and the unseen is faithful to fulfill what you have assumed. Your only task is to dwell in the end, knowing that creation is finished. Then all things unfold without struggle. To dwell in the end is to take your attention away from the problem and place it entirely on the solution. It is to live inwardly as though your desire were already a present fact. You no longer wonder if it will come, for in consciousness it is already yours. You rest in the certainty of its reality. This shift is not a matter of forcing yourself to think certain thoughts. It is the quiet acceptance of the state in which your desire is fulfilled. You clothe yourself in this inner feeling until it becomes natural. Once it feels natural, the outer must conform. When you live in the end, you are not denying what your senses show you. You are refusing to make your present circumstances the final truth about yourself. You understand that what you see now is the result of past states, not a fixed reality, and you have the power to replace it with a new one. Consider a traveler who has reached their destination. They do not dwell on the journey that brought them there, nor do they question if they will arrive. They are already there in experience. This is how you must live inwardly. Your assumption is not a hope or a wish. It is the claiming of something as already true of you. You walk, speak, and think from that position. This is the true meaning of faith. The outer world does not change instantly, yet it begins to reorganize the moment you assume the end. Circumstances, events, and people will shift in ways you cannot predict. What seems like coincidence is simply the natural unfolding of your new state. This is the law in action. You will find that your actions change without effort when your state changes. New ideas will occur to you. Opportunities will seem to appear. You are moved naturally toward the fulfillment of what you have accepted within. Dwelling in the end frees you from the struggle of making things happen. It shifts your focus from getting to being. And in being, all that is yours by right of consciousness flows to you. This is the effortless way of creation. To truly embody your desire, you must cultivate the feeling of fulfillment within your being. It is not enough to imagine the outer form. You must awaken the inner sensation of having already arrived. This feeling is the signal that convinces your subconscious to bring the desire into physical reality. Without it, the mind remains divided and manifestation is delayed. Begin by recalling moments in your life when you felt joy, peace, or satisfaction. Allow these feelings to wash over you as if your desire is now fulfilled. For example, if you desire a loving relationship, feel the warmth and companionship as though it is present. If you seek abundance, experience the security and freedom it brings within you now. The imagination serves as your laboratory, where you rehearse the state of fulfillment repeatedly. Each rehearsal impresses the subconscious more deeply, strengthening your assumption. This process is gentle and natural. It need not be forced or rushed. Patience allows the feeling to mature and root itself firmly in your consciousness. Avoid dwelling on the absence of your desire or the conditions that seem contrary. These thoughts weaken the impression you make within. Instead, direct your attention to the inner reality you wish to live. Faith grows through consistent feeling, not through external evidence. Even when circumstances appear unchanged, the inner change is unfolding, the future unseen. Manifestation is not instantaneous, but it is inevitable once the feeling is established. Trust in the quiet power of your inner assumption to reshape reality in due time. The universe responds to the certainty of your conviction. When you cultivate feeling, you remove resistance and open the way for your desire. This is the essence of creation, the heart's conviction made tangible. It is both the seed and the sunlight for your manifested reality. Nourish this feeling daily and watch your world change. The feeling of fulfillment transforms your entire being. It radiates peace and confidence, which others naturally respond to. This vibration becomes the attractor of all you seek. You live as the fulfilled one long before the outer appearance arrives. Resistance and doubt are the shadows that obscure the truth of your desire. They arise from clinging to your present reality instead of embracing the new state within. When you resist, you place your attention on the absence rather than the presence. This divided focus delays the unfolding of your manifestation. To release resistance, begin by noticing when your thoughts drift toward lack or impossibility. Gently redirect your attention back to the feeling of fulfillment. This is not a battle, but a patient practice of returning home to your assumption. Each time you return, you weaken the power of doubt. Remember, your subconscious accepts as true what you impress upon it consistently. If you allow doubt to linger, it will compete with your desired state. But if you persist in dwelling, in the end, doubt loses its foothold. Faith grows stronger with each inner rehearsal. Consider a child learning to walk. Each fall is met with a return to balance and renewed effort without despair. So too must you meet your wavering thoughts with gentle correction. The journey to your desire requires patience and persistence in your assumption. You do not need to force belief or struggle with your thoughts. Simply choose to dwell more often in the end and less in uncertainty. The law responds to your dominant state, not occasional doubts. Your consistent feeling shapes your reality. Trust that the unseen is working even when no visible change appears. Your inner world is creating quietly and surely. Patience and steady feeling build the bridge to manifestation. Doubt fades as faith takes root. Let go of the need to understand how or when. This release opens the door for the unexpected to arrive. Allow your inner assumption to work without interference. This is the path to effortless creation. Your desire is not thwarted by time or circumstance. It is fulfilled in the perfect way and at the perfect moment. Rest in this truth and let resistance dissolve. You were never meant to struggle to receive what is already yours. While your inner state is the foundation of manifestation, your outer actions flow naturally from it. These actions are not forced efforts, but inspired movements aligned with your assumption. When you live in the end, your behavior changes without strain or confusion. You find yourself acting as the fulfilled person you already are within. Notice how confidence replaces hesitation. Opportunities present themselves without chasing. You attract what corresponds to your state. This is the natural result of living from the end. You do not need to push against resistance in the world. Instead, you respond creatively and effortlessly to what appears. Your inspired action is the echo of your inner conviction. It aligns perfectly with your assumed reality. Beware of forcing actions out of desperation or doubt. These actions come from a state of lack and do not build your desired reality. Only actions inspired by your fulfilled state move you closer to your manifestation. Trust that the right steps will appear when you dwell in the end. Examples throughout time show those who aligned their actions with belief prospered naturally. A writer inspired by success writes daily with passion, not struggle. A merchant confident in abundance conducts business with ease, not anxiety. Their outer lives mirror the inner state they assume. Your responsibility is not to manufacture results, but to remain faithful to your inner assumption. When your state is settled, action becomes a joyful expression of your fulfilled being. This is the harmony of cause and effect in manifestation. Effortless action flows from a resolved mind. Let go of struggle in action, as you let go of struggle in thought. Peace within produces peace without. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner calm and certainty. Live from this place and watch all things fall into place. Manifestation unfolds in its own perfect timing and manner. Often, what you desire is already complete in the unseen, yet it must align with your belief. Trust is the quiet assurance that the unseen is working on your behalf. It asks you to rest in your fulfilled state, regardless of present appearances. Doubt and impatience interrupt this process and create delays. They are like ripples, disturbing the stillness of a calm lake. By maintaining unwavering faith, you keep the waters smooth and clear. This clarity allows manifestation to surface naturally. Understand that the outer world moves slower than the inner reality. The physical must catch up to your inner assumption. This is why visible results sometimes take time to appear. Yet, the process is certain and unbreakable. You are not required to know the details or control the unfolding. Your role is to live and feel as though the desire is fulfilled. Let the unseen arrange the means and circumstances. This trust frees you from struggle and fear. When you rest in the assurance of fulfillment, resistance dissolves. You stop fighting against the present and embrace the future inwardly. This acceptance creates a vibration that draws your desire to you. It is the magnetism of belief made manifest. Many have found their desires unfolding after a period of stillness and faith. Like a seed resting beneath the soil, growth occurs unseen before bursting forth. Your manifestation is no different. Patience and trust are your allies in this sacred process. Release the need for visible proof. The unseen is faithful and always active. Hold fast to your inner conviction and let the outer follow. This is the peace of knowing your desire is done. You were never meant to struggle for your desires. Struggle arises when you resist your true nature as a creator. Your natural state is one of ease, abundance, and fulfillment. When you align with this truth, manifestation becomes effortless. All things come to you as a reflection of your inner state. If you live in lack or fear, those conditions will persist. But if you rest in the knowing that all is already yours, reality bends to your will. This is the law of consciousness at work. You do not need to fight or prove your worthiness. Your value is inherent, and your desires belong to you by divine right. Release resistance and accept your role as the effortless creator of your experience. Peace follows this acceptance. Think of a river flowing naturally to the sea. It does not struggle against rocks or bends. It follows its course with grace. So too should your manifestation flow without struggle. When you live in the end, you become like the river. Living in the end means embodying the feeling of your fulfilled desire moment by moment. This feeling is your true self, free from conflict and limitation. When you remain in this state, the outer world must conform. This is the secret to effortless creation. Manifestation is the unfolding of your inner assumption into form. The secret lies in living from the end and allowing all to follow. Your desires come to you without effort or conflict. Trust this process and relax into your fulfilled state. You were never meant to struggle for your desires. Release the old belief that effort equals worthiness. Instead, know that ease and abundance are your natural heritage. Live as the fulfilled one, and all will be drawn to you. Manifestation is your birthright and your nature. Embrace it fully and walk in the freedom of effortless creation. You have already won. All that remains is to live it.